Hello, welcome to the third and final event of our three-part Expanse actual play series. We're a crew made up of our friends at Abraxas, Precipice, and fresh out of the box, each with their own streams for the Expanse RPG. We'll get to introductions, but first, today's explorations are taking place in a system created by us using the Colony system and built and managed by the cast using the Expanse role-playing game sourcebook Beyond the Ring. You can pre-order the hardback for Beyond the Ring now, and for a limited time, you'll get the PDF for just $5. And if that weren't enough, we've also recently released Secrets of Lemuria, a short adventure for the Expanse role-playing game intended for a crew of four to six first to third level characters. The characters are hired to escort a journalist to Medina Station to meet with a scientist who claims to have made a remarkable discovery on a world called Lemuria. And of course, things don't go as planned. That's a $4.99 PDF. It's available only as a PDF on the Green Ronin online store and DriveThru RPG. So tonight we're gonna get to our players here and kick this off. Hello, everyone.
Hey.
Good to see you all. Sorry we're a couple weeks behind, but glad to be here tonight. So before we begin, what I'd like to do is give everybody a chance to introduce themselves and their character, and if they have anything they want to say about what's been going on, and then I'll wrap up that recap, and then we'll jump right into things. Why don't I just go around from my right and start with Maria playing Ryland Pax.
Hello. Excuse me. I'm Maria. I'm also known as Happy Capster on the internet. I use they, she pronouns. Tonight I am playing Ryland Pax, who is a Martian by nature. He uses he and him pronouns. He is also an individual who works with other individuals to make sure the individuals of all, where everyone's taken care of. I'm a people person. He is mostly skilled in the ways of talking to people, seeing things that are amiss, and making sure generally people are taken care of, leaving all the science and all the, extraterrestrial type things to other people, such as whoever Scott is playing.
I'm Scott. I'm part of the Abraxas Precipice crew. I'm playing Neville Black, the head of security, and no one's died yet from this crew.
Not from us.
Exactly. But that's just about it about me.
All right. Hey, I'm John Baltino. I use he, him. You can find me anywhere. I only play Wizards. I run and the game master for Abraxas Precipice, the Expanse role-playing game. We just celebrated our first year anniversary of our stream, which is very cool. We had a lot of fun with that. Tonight, I am playing Yaki Butenko, who is a advanced biochemist scientist with a startup company called Enigma Soilworks LLC here on this weird planet called Minerva. Last we left off, we had launched a rescue effort to find two missing colonists. In doing so, we actually did lose one of our team members, but we managed to rescue the other two. And we're now trying to figure out what kind of weird alien leftover technology is beneath the surface, along with looking at the local flora and fauna. But we recently captured some and we've seen some, violent exposures to as of recent. And I'm looking forward to actually get into the colony project system too tonight, which I'm very excited to check out. So that's it.
It's me, Casualty CDG. I'm one half of Fresh Out the Box. I'm a retired child crimes and human trafficking detective turned tabletop titan and improv comedian. And tonight I'll be playing the role of Loki. I am kind of the man in the chair type of operation. I'll be watching and trying to help out where I can. Also, I'm sort of the half of security that stays in the security room.
Hey there, I am the other half of Fresh Out the Box, Johananon, the game master extraordinaire and board game guru. Use he, him pronouns. I am at RockFact on Twitter, and tonight I am Darius Amadi, the Persian belter from Ganymede.
All right. I think that gets to everyone. So what we're doing here, if you haven't tuned in previously, we are showcasing the colony rules that are in Beyond the Ring, and I'm kind of trying to show how you can run an entire campaign based on around a colony and how the characters can be involved in that. The rules are a little bit loose deliberately in the sense of you can use them different ways, but we'll get into that a little bit more. As a little recap, in addition to what's already been said, the team on the planet here has discovered that there appears to be some sort of rhodium and lithium extraction device, which basically sucks water and material from the swamp down into large chambers down below where it extracts the lithium and rhodium. There's so little lithium and rhodium in the water that it would be impossible for normal technologies to extract enough to make it worthwhile. But due to the builder technology, apparently it is able to do so. Though they're not sure if it's functional or not at this time. Apparently they were partially functional because that's how they lost their colonists. One of them, or two of them, got sucked down into these tubes, which they have now mapped out carefully so no one else stumbles into them as well. As was mentioned, they've also come across two types of fauna that live in the swamp. One is a giant grazer analog that is something between a cross between a pillbug, a giant grub, and a hippopotamus that lives in the swamp and mostly under the water and under the mud, but then comes up occasionally. When they come up, there's these sort of lamprey eel things that feed on the giant grazers, and while they don't seem to really find humans tasty, if anything moves in the vicinity when they fall off, they will attack them. And they can occasionally be found, roaming loose through the swamp as well. So these are some dangers they've come across. When we last ended, I had mentioned to them that their first resupply ship was going to be arriving in about 6 months. We ended pretty much right at the 3-month period when they detected the supply ship coming through. And then shortly after that one, Loki just fortunately was being vigilant for once, and apparently, and actually noticed a second ship came through the gate as well. This one, not transmitting a transponder and didn't respond to any hails as well. So we're going to pick up there. The first thing we're going to do, actually, though, is to dive right into some of the rules of colony making or colony operation. And basically, however many months the game master decides, usually 1 to 3 months, the players get plot actions, which plot actions are things that they can do to try to improve the colony, or in this case, they have a bit of scientific research going on. John, you want to fill everyone in?
Yeah, you bet. So, Enigma Soilworks LLC has a proprietary method of chiral inversion regarding soil. That is to get the soil in a form that will allow us to grow plants native to Earth and make sure we can feed ourselves and the like. And we're looking at a mass inversion machine. So let's think of like a giant combine that could go over and till over a field of completely foreign soil that doesn't work for us into stuff that works for us. Right now, we can do it on a small scale, but we can't do it on a agricultural scale, and that's what we're aiming to do. So we're still trying to. Right now, we're just at a scaling issue. The theory's there. We can do it in the lab, but we want to make sure we can take it out into the field and make sure we can feed the universe and make money.
Probably the most important part, but along with plot actions, there's sort of two kinds of plot actions. There's projects, which is what we're dealing with right now. You can also have threats, which we're not particularly. So threats to a colony can be dealt with one of two different ways. One, you can just do it as a plot action. like say if there's a blight and you're having a hard time feeding, your colonists, maybe in your biodomes or what have you. There could be local predators or other creatures that are causing a problem, so you have to figure out how to deal with them. There could be major storms that are having to be dealt with, or the ground could turn out to be unstable for some reason. Anything could be a threat plot action. So you can deal with those either by having the player characters go out and actually do something to solve it, in which case that deals with the threat, or you can just sort of do it with a plot action. But today we're actually going with the projects, and we had 3 projects. There is the Soil Chiral Inversion project. They also wish to boost the security. And basically allowed each player to choose one action, or multiple players could work on, multiple characters could work on the same one. In the case of Boost Security, we have a couple people working on that. And then increase media presence, basically just to get the presence of the colony known to more people throughout the systems. So let us begin with let's start with let's go in reverse order there. I want to start with the media presence. So the way this works is we make a test that is make sure I get this right because I always get it wrong. Yeah. You make a test. It's an opposed test. I make a test using any traits that the plot action has, and then a player makes an opposed test. I always fail at this because I get them confused. Okay. Each side can apply the appropriate ability to the focus to the roll for a +2. So in this case, your colony has what for media? It has media 1. So Maria, since you're leading this up, why don't you give me a roll, a 3d6 roll? Okay. We're using roll 20. For making tests and such. Give me a 3d6 roll, and then add your media. And I tell you what, if you have, do you have anything that would be appropriate stat wise? What's the goal in general of this role? I may have missed it in your explanation. You're trying to increase your media presence. So, in what case, way? In like, I don't know. Okay, because I mean, it's just like a super vague idea. So, like, are we trying to literally like get the news to people, or are we trying to like get more coverage from news outlets, increase your social media presence? Basically any way that you could possibly be getting the word out about your colony and how well it's doing. Okay. I have business and I have leadership, 2 skills. I think business probably would be a little bit more if we're trying to like go like hey, let's like expand as instead of like being like, hey, let's be more personable. Okay, John.
I did have a thought on. We could also use the rescue of the colonists as a sensational story to get attention.
Use it as a business opportunity.
Well, I mean, it is. By all means.
I remember us talking about that towards the end of the last.
Not being too exploitative, but trying to
just like a soft story to like band people together.
We sacrificed to help our neighbors, and this is what should happen because we're a caring company.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is you get to use your media, which is 1. So you'll get to add +1. I'm going to give, because you have a focus that applies. In this case, I'm only giving you a +1, not the normal +2, but
Okay.
For business you'll get a +1. But I'm going to give you a +2 for the rescue of the colonists, because that's a good story, right? That's a good meaty story. So you have a total of +4 to your desk. Now on the other side, just to sort of part the curtain and let people know how this works, the opposition is basically the big problem they're going to have is that it's a new colony. So there's a lot of other colonies out there competing for attention, and you're new still. So the focus here for the opposition is going to be new colony, and I gave it a 1 though. So the colony gets a +3 to its roll. So each of us need to make a roll.
And I'm adding +4 to whatever I roll, correct?
Yeah, I'm just doing a 3d6 +3 roll. I got a 10.
Well, I also got a 10 because I didn't add my +4.
Oh, okay. In that case, it's a draw. So not a lot happens. You did get theoretically a stunt, and it was a success. So I'm going to let you have your stunt, even though you don't actually do the thing. You don't actually succeed, but I'm going to give you the stunt. So
cool. I'm just going to use it to gain a +1 to make mine. Oh wait, no, that's not the next roll. Never mind. I
hang on. We have to look at plot stunts. You have 4 points. There are things such as
second team.
Yeah, second team.
Where's that?
Immediately roll a second plot action against the same operation. This must use a different ability than the current plot action.
So business didn't work, but maybe persuasion or leadership.
That way you get another crack at it.
Oh.
That's just a suggestion.
I think it's a good move.
Well, that is, it's not, I was giving you letting you all use your own skills as a sort of a bonus that isn't technically in the book. So basically you have to, in this case, come at it from a different front using a different skill, different ability.
Gotcha.
So rather than media, I would say in this case, what would make sense, sadly, it's not very big, but force, because of the rescue operation that happened, that's kind of the thing you're highlighting. So, and I'll still give you that +2. So this roll would basically be the same roll, but this time you'd only have a +2. Okay. But I'll keep my roll.
Okay.
So,
good chance you can do it, Maria.
Yep.
I can.
I believe in Rylan.
You can beat a 10.
Man, there's a lot of cool plots in this.
+2. Boop, 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 boop. 13.
Okay. So, and you got theoretically another. Well, I'm only going to allow 1 stunt.
Fair enough.
Stunt cascade.
Stunt cascade seems a little weird. So, however, you have 4 stunt points to spend. What you do then is the action has a resolve, and resolve effectively acts as armor. In this case, the resolve is 2. So you're going to do 2 points, and to its stability, and basically the thing you're opposing has a stability score. When you get it to 0, you get to you increase your media or various other things that might be appropriate. In this case, so you knock your stability down to 8. So you're getting there. Plot actions are things that don't happen immediately. They take months or years to accomplish. It's not something that's just going to happen each time. So let's do the boost security one. In this case, you're as I recall, you're training the people.
Yes.
You do not have any focus in force, and in fact, your force is 0, which is that's why you're trying to increase it.
What?
Focus. I have two focuses that I can choose from that I gave for your opposition here. One is lack of training because these colonists are not trained in security, and two is lack of equipment. You just don't have a lot of gear.
Yes.
I can only use one of them though. So in this case, it's going to be a 3d6 plus 2 roll for me. And yours is, well, actually, do you have a skill? Do either Loki or Neville have a skill that's appropriate?
Could I use tactics?
Absolutely.
Intelligence. Yeah. Then I have tactics.
Absolutely. Okay. I'll give you a +1 for that.
Okay.
And Loki, you're muted.
I've got security too.
Okay. As a focus?
Yes.
Okay. Right. But okay. All right. So I'll give you +2 total on that. You know what? I'm going to give you a +1 morale booster just because, you organized a team already, went out there and rescued some people. They like what's going on. Okay. So go ahead and give me a 3d6 plus what? I gave you +2, +1, so +3. Yes.
Yep.
I have +2.
They saw proof of concept in the field.
Yep, exactly.
I got 13 for me.
Ooh, but I got a 14. Sorry. Only have a +2 as well. So yeah. So that means you basically do not proceed increase in security. Maybe they celebrated a little too much.
Is this one of those times that we could spend a fortune to try to bump that up by 1 or 2?
I mean, technically, sure. Except for, I don't know. I don't think that's appropriate in this case.
Okay.
Because the way fortune works, it's sort of a thing for you, not for the colony.
Yeah, exactly.
That would have been that would be an interesting house rule to add in, though, where maybe you could use the colony's stability, to do it, and then you can heal that over time. That could be a fun house rule. But I'm going to say no. I'm going to say just in this case, it just failed. Sorry. So the chiral inversion.
Oh, here we go.
Has a science of 3 and alien chemistry as a focus, so it's going to get a +5. This is going to be a hard one to overcome. I mean, this was something that would probably take years.
Oh, absolutely. This is the big project. Yeah, this is the dream.
Exactly.
But we do have a +3 to science.
Yes.
And then we have xenobiology. Does that help us understand like the soil stuff and like what's
yes,
going
that
on?
gives you a +2.
So I got +5.
And then I'm also going to give you another +1 for some of the stuff you uncovered during the story.
So that's 6. And then I have my focus on biochemistry.
I was given a +1 to everyone, so call that another +1.
Okay, cool. So we're at like what, +7, something like that, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Very cool. Okay, cool. Well, I'm not gonna push my luck any harder than that. And then I'm gonna go ahead and roll. I don't know how to roll in this.
If you go to the
there's the dice. I see them.
Yeah, and you can actually
There's
set
also-
up in advance.
Oops.
Yeah.
There it goes. Sorry. I'll
That's
take that
fine.
first, whatever that first one is. They're pretty much the same, anyways.
Yeah,
Okay. So I got 12 plus I think 6 or 7, which was
7.
7.
I'll give
So
you-
that's 19.
19, and I rolled a 19 as well.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
Wow.
Pushing it.
I rolled well. So, well, sorry guys, no advancement on that this time either. So that
Ian throwing
was-
bones, man.
Yeah.
Sorry, but that's a little example of how the plot actions work. So everybody out there gets to see how that works. If you basically to sort of explain that a little bit more, when you overcome all of the opposition, you get the game master comes up with different options of what you get as a result, and that might be a very specific thing, or it might just simply be a bonus to one of the attributes for the colony, or it could be an increase in stability, or whatever else might be a possibility. So as some examples, so there it is. As some examples, I had down here, if the boost security, once you get through the stability of boost security, you would have potential rewards of +1 to security, a bonus to stability, or if you had some other idea of something you want to do. I mean, when you do the increased media. Oh, I had these. Oh, that's right. Okay, I had these written backwards. That's the problem. Okay, for the soil, it would be +1 science or economy, +2d6 to stability, or unlock the secrets of alien chemistry. So one of the things you can do is knock off the focus, so it's gone. But that would also mean, okay, yes, you succeeded at this project, and you might want to move on to something else, such as at that point, building up your economy to try and start making money because of the fact that you've invented this new thing. So anyway, there's a lot of different ways you can use this. It's a lot of fun. Check it out. So we'll get back to the story. You have a ship coming in. Well, you have 2 ships coming in. You have your supply ship and you have a mystery ship. How do you want to handle it?
I think it is of our utmost security to pretend that this ship is a threat and act like it's a threat.
I agree.
As a reminder, you have at your disposal, theoretically, you have 1 rock hopper that's basically in orbit, in geosync orbit, just sitting up there because it can't land. And you also have 1.5 shuttles. You have 1 fully operational Tereshkova class shuttle. And then you have another one which it is damaged and is basically being used for spare parts.
So the one that's already... Oh, go ahead.
Sorry.
If we had a larger security force, I would recommend a boarding party. However, we don't know what we're up against. Maybe we should set a trap.
Have we tried communicating with them at all?
Yes, they don't hail any communications and have no receivers, transponders, or they're in blackout mode.
I mean, is there any way that we could do any sort of, I don't know, make sure, like, see if we know what kind of, what the ship, where the ship may come from? Because, I mean, there's a possibility it's coming from someplace that we're not familiar with.
Could we query Medina if they know what the ship is? Because, like, at the trade union established, they wouldn't. Ships just running through the things aren't going to be their cup of tea.
Sure. Who wants to give that a shot?
Rylan. You're a reach out person. You're the people person.
Yeah. Because the person in charge of the Belter colony leader was Persephone, right?
Yes.
Arba? Is that who I would reach out to then?
Well, no, she's here.
No, we're talking about
Never
like
mind. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Medina Station in the middle of the.
Oh, Medina Station.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah.
My B.
Because they would monitor all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. Yeah, I would reach out. Send a big long message.
So normally that is, well, hang on. Normally that's pretty simple, and you can ping, but you have a relay satellite out there which gets you to Medina. However, when you go to tune in the channel for Medina, you're not getting anything. In fact, you're getting a lot of static.
Darius, you want to take a look at this and see why it's not working?
Yeah, sure. I'll take a look at it. But have you ever considered it's entirely possible we're all that remains of humanity? I'll say
I'd prefer for that to be the furthest thought from my mind, but you do what comforts you best, I guess.
This would be initially a technology test.
Absolutely. Let me click on the thing, even Robert. And you said technology, yeah.
Yo.
Kaboom.
Wow. Okay.
About time someone rolled well.
Did I
Yeah.
roll well? I still can't see. There
You
it
got
is.
an 18 with
Yo.
6 stud points.
That's what I'm talking about, Jahan. All right.
So, well, the first thing you're able to determine right away is that it is you're being jammed. Clearly, somebody dropped something to jam the signal just inside the gate. You might be able to work through it, but it would take some time. With 6 stunt points, God, I don't even know what all you could do with that.
Investigation, you think?
Yeah, call it that. Sure.
I think breakthrough
Yep.
would be good since we're in the
Yeah.
dark here a little bit. And then I'll throw the other one into aha. To get another useful fact about the object of my test as well.
So yeah, so you're able to determine it's that you are being jammed. What I'm going to give you partly with breakthrough is that you're actually able to locate the jamming device. Like there is essentially a torpedo with jamming gear that was dropped, probably dropped. You surmise dropped just after they came through the ring. And you know where it is, and you're able to get a signal so that you can attempt to hack it if you wish.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Actually, can I pass that off to my good friend Loki, since he is a master hacker?
You sure can. And,
Badly.
he'll still get the +1.
Excellent.
I've
Yeah,
got
I'll
some
be
big
like, I'll find this needle in the haystack the size of an entire space sector, and I'll be like, there it is. Feels pretty good.
Yes, all I need you to do is find it. I have no problem cracking it like egg. And I've rolled a 17 with no stunt points on my side. But I get the +1, right, for an 18 altogether?
Yep.
Damn Skippy. That's pretty good.
Okay.
Thanks. Thanks for the boost there, sir.
Hey, no problem, man. I knew you were the guy for the job.
When I get there.
But I immediately, I tell Rylan and probably Neville, hey, they're jamming us deliberately. Odds are they're up to no. Either they're robbing us or they're going to try and intercept our supply ship. And if they try to intercept the supply ship before it hits Atmo, we got, thumbs up asses here. So,
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can gather some people just to be ready for anything on the ground.
Well, it's gonna be months until they're here.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
man.
Because they just get out of the gate.
You probably have about, assuming they don't do something crazy, you have about 3 months until they get here. This is not
I've got plenty of time to, train some people to.
In fact, you'll be able to make another test to train your troops if you'll have another round of plot actions before you, or if there's something else you want to do as a plot action between now and then, you could do that.
Okay.
You start working on it. It is going to take some time to get this done. How many? You got a 4 on the stunt days. I will let you make a test every day, basically to continue work on this. But you've made some headway on it.
Perfect.
So, are there any other preparations besides working on the satellite?
So there's a chance that we might have to actually intercept them in space before they destroy our supply ship, right?
They seem to be closing on your supply ship. They're not going to be. There's no way you'd be able to intercept them before.
There's no way. Jeez.
Again, they're 3 months out.
Yeah.
I mean,
Is
actually,
there theoretically a way to take remote control over a torpedo?
If it is a guided torpedo, yes, but this is not. This thing doesn't even have an engine on it. It's just it's basically a torpedo casing with a bunch of jamming gear shoved into it.
I just had to make sure if there was a chance I could blast him in the back with a torpedo, I had to take it.
That would be funny. But it's not an armed torpedo at all. It's just, it's essentially a torpedo casing with a bunch of stuff in it. Well, I'm just going to give you this too. The next thing you notice is torpedoes incoming towards the planet. Actually, just one torpedo. It will be a while before it gets there, but it will get there because torpedoes go really fast. I'm just fudging this. I'm going to say about 2 weeks. Probably quicker than that, but
It looks like our sensors have picked up an extra anomaly here. It looks like an incoming torpedo.
Do
2
we have
weeks.
anything on the ground that we can fire towards this if once as some kind of
I
system
don't
to?
think we do.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
not
we ain't got enough time
technically,
to. Is there enough time to come up with something?
There's a
Looking
couple
at your ghost
ideas I
luggage
have
at the
here.
airport.
So either Loki tries to hijack that thing, or I can, as a contingency, get one of these shuttles rigged up to maybe pull the torpedo towards it in orbit or something, with like a false geo sign or something. I don't know.
Yeah, because
Those
we're
are
not
my
sure
ideas.
what that thing is aimed at. So if it's aimed for something that's just
Yeah, can we
way off here.
Yeah, can we run like the numbers on it, like with
Sure.
our system here, to basically see where it's going to hit based on
Yeah.
the orbital mechanics of it all?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you want me to roll that, or do you want me to roll the colony for that, or something like that? Could be like a science test.
I mean,
or...
you can you could do it different ways if you want to do it using science.
don't mind using-
If Yaki sort of in his lab going, and just
I'm a smart
starts
guy.
writing numbers, that's fine. Yeah, you can use science.
Alright.
You don't have like
I have like
astrophysics or-
research, but I mean, I'll do raw intelligence.
Yeah, raw intelligence science.
Okay.
is
I
fine.
use a computer and I ask it to. Oh, all right, there we go. All right, computer, you were thinking first. I got a 17.
It's going to hit your communications satellite.
Oh, let's go over the satellite. Okay. Yeah, I'm liking this idea that Darius has about having one of the shuttles intercepted. Either the shuttle, I don't think the shuttle's gonna be able to draw it off. The thing will figure that out pretty quick. But I think what the shuttle could do is just jut in front of it and take the hit for it. Alternatively, we could also try to there's not much we could really, unless we want to pull the satellite out of orbit, which is gonna suck even worse. I might as well just take it offline then. So. Yeah,
The satellite doesn't really have much capability of moving itself. Just letting you know what the status of the satellite is. I mean, you could use a shuttle or rock hopper. Rock hopper would be even better because it does have grabbers to move the satellite if you want. The torpedo does seem to be a dumb torpedo.
Mhm.
It is not. It's not being guided.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, if the satellite does have any kind of thrust capabilities, it's pretty minimal. It's usually just corrections. But we could all bring the orbit. We could bring this. I think bring the shuttle up there and have the shuttle remain in orbit with the what's it called, the satellite, and then have it just ready at the last minute to jump in front.
I agree. I think that's about the best plan we got.
Or we could have it also. We could also have the shuttle just dump a bunch of crap around the satellite to block it, like at the last minute.
That would save the
We do
shuttle.
that.
Well,
also
isn't
like
one of the shuttles kind of in disrepair though? Like,
That's what I was thinking too.
Why can't we just get that one working just enough?
Yeah, it doesn't need to
I mean,
support
it's
life.
not really being it's not really
Yeah,
being
sure.
used too
I
terribly
mean, you have a
much.
hole in it, and it does what we need it to do.
That makes my job a little easier. Yeah, I could rig the garbage shuttle in that
Okay.
manner to be remote controlled. Yeah.
I'm game for that.
It's
Yeah,
a
I would just have it on.
trash can.
Hmm?
We're
So
just
you're gonna try.
shoot a
You want to
trash
get
can
the
into
garbage
space.
shuttle operational? Is that what I'm hearing?
Just operational enough to crash into a torpedo. Yes.
Fair enough. We'll see how many days that's going to take you. I'm going to call that a challenge test, and it's going to be a day per test. You can use engineering. I will allow multiple people to do that if you wish. I don't know if multiple people have engineering.
Well, what I'll do is I'd like to start off by knowing what the problem. If Darius can explain the problem to me, I'd like to use my research skill to try to start from there and go try to figure out what the best course of action would be for this.
As far as fixing the shuttle.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
sure. Give me a research test. If you do well on that, you can give people working on it a bonus and perhaps reduce the time.
I got a 19 with 2 stunt points.
So 2 stunt points.
So I'll go ahead and I'll do something simple with that.
Yeah. Give them a bonus on the.
Yeah, I'll just do something simple with that. Like, I'm not going to do anything fancy with it. Let's just do Speed Demon.
Okay.
That was fast. I typed very fast that day.
Well, except for Speed Demon's going to reduce your time, right? Not theirs.
Oh, okay. That's true too. Okay, let me go ahead and do intuition. I learned some weird thing about the shuttle. It can help us out. Or even flashback. I remember something about being on the shuttle.
Let me think here. What do you have any thoughts of what you learn about on the shuttle?
I'm just thinking maybe I realized that the shuttle had one of the thruster sets was a little bit better than the other, and so if we make it so that thruster set's the one that intercepts, it would be a little bit better chance of it hitting, basically using the good side of it, if you will.
Okay, so you're applying that to when you're actually trying to intercept the torpedo. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm like, well, why don't we make sure that when we actually set this setup to this thing up to intercept, we use the better side of it. I remember one side being a little bit more, a little more kick than the other side. So just saying optimizing the circumstances of it.
So we'll call that, that'll come into play when you actually do the thing. All right. So who is going to be working on the shuttle itself? Does anybody else have engineering at all? You can just use straight up intelligence if you're assisting. That's fine.
I have intelligence and technology, but not engineering.
But you know what? Use technology too, because there's going to be tech parts of it as well. That's
you're gonna program the thing to do the job.
So that is an 18. That's a success with 4 points off the thing. Okay, go ahead and Darius. Oh, no, that was Darius. Okay, you got 12. That's enough. And 2 points off. Okay, you're about halfway. One day, and you're almost halfway there. You think you'll have it functional soon. Why don't we just make another test on another day? Of course, the other thing is that occurs to me. If you're doing that, Loki, you're not going to be able to be trying to work on the satellite.
If I can't focus on the hacking, if I have to pick one or the other, I'll be focusing on breaking the code so that we can communicate.
I can definitely give it a technology shot too. I have technology.
Okay, why don't you do the technology and you do? I'll keep what you rolled and just assume it was Neville, and we'll go from there. So Darius and Neville, both give me your technology and engineering.
19 with 6 stunt points.
Huh.
9 with 3 stunt points.
Okay, and go ahead, Loki, with your checking on the working on the satellite. Not so good that day. You need at least a 12. So nothing that day. However, on day 2, you have what you believe is a relatively functional shuttle with 6 stunt points. It's better. Well, a total of 9 stunt points, really. It is better than you thought it was.
Those starboard thrusters, man, I'm telling you, they're good ones.
Man, goodness gracious, 6. I'm thinking you also with that many stunt points. I'm gonna say you have another thought. It's totally up to you all if you want. You realize there's the material on this shuttle. There are materials. It would take time, but definitely within 3 months, it's doable to actually manufacture more or less a crude PPC gun.
Okay. Well, I'll mention that to everybody. We could have a fully functioning.
With the shuttle
journey.
itself, you wouldn't be able to use that shuttle then, though,
Yeah.
because you'd be pulling all kinds of material out of it.
That's a tough one because then
Yeah,
there's no guarantee that we can pull that off.
No, it's just an option. I don't know what you want. You
And
can
then
use
the
the
PD
PDC to shoot the.
Yeah, we then mount the PDC to the other shuttle. Then if that one gets iced, we're down all our shuttles.
Yeah.
So I'm not inclined to do that. There's too many eggs in one basket.
Yeah, I agree.
Fair enough.
All right. So you have the shuttle ready. Loki, go ahead and give me another test for the other. And you managed to hack the satellite.
That's the kind of check I was waiting for.
Rolled a 22 with 5 stunt points. Yes, you in fact you have control of the jamming torpedo. In fact, you think you could use it theoretically to broadcast from if you wanted to.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what we want to do.
All right.
I'll call a group meeting and bring everybody in here. I've broken the code. It was tougher than I thought it would be, but we now have full access to broadcast to the entire system. So think about what we want to say and press this red button when you're ready to broadcast.
Can we get through to Medina Station now?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, maybe we can find out more about this ship now.
Yeah, we need to send something to station and go from there.
Look, I'm hoping they can help us, man. The last time I was there, I bought a T-shirt. And I'm hoping, and I feel like they owe me at this point. Like it's not gonna look good. Like if a guy in their shirt gets killed because they didn't respond in time. You see what I'm saying? So.
How far away is the ship from? Oh, the ship is pretty far away from Medina Station at this point, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
it's what, about 4 or 5 days in through the ring.
Close enough for a torpedo.
I was going to say compared to us, which is like 3-ish months out still, it's closer than we are, correct?
Kind of hard to shoot at something through a ring, Dave.
Be dope though.
But not impossible. They could go through. They could send a ship through the gate. They
can send a torpedo through the gate, but it's not gonna. They're not gonna know what the thing looks like exactly. So,
Yeah.
but they'd probably just deploy a ship to come help us out, and they would
Fair
do it
enough.
from there.
Yeah.
Because we can certainly can we send any telemetry we have of the ship? That's I mean, we know what it
Sure.
looks like, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we attach the telemetry.
Yeah.
All the shape of it, any kind of signatures, whatever we can get off of it, at least without it broadcasting out, and then
Because at the very least, they can head that direction, and if they
shit.
manage to get up to it,
they
apprehend
might
or
even
something
they might even know
like
who
that.
these clowns are.
Yeah.
Right.
So
That's very possible.
okay, well, hopefully President Pa helps us out on this.
Yeah.
So you get through to Medina. Hi, this is Commander Jensen. How can I help you?
Hi, Commander Jensen. This is Ryland Pax here. I am currently playing inside on this here side of the ring, and we have an unidentified vessel that is heading our direction. It did temporarily block our communications, which is a little bit of a worry to us. We're wondering if you have any information about it, and I'll make sure to send all
And they fired on us.
our
They fired on
information.
us.
They also did fire upon us.
Don't forget the important part. There's a strange man in my yard. Has he done anything? He's like firing a gun at me. Oh. Oh, okay.
It's like the equivalent of like a strange person down the road that we can see but isn't here yet.
So after a ridiculously long time delay, because
Right,
you've got to get to
space.
Medina, and then and this is you've got to get that message has to go all the way out to the ring, and then to Medina, and then back. Eventually, hours later, you hear back. We do have some information on that vessel. It is though we logged it passing through the ring, although it did not acknowledge our hails. It looks to be a modified Grendel class ship. It is armed with PDCs and torpedo tubes. At least two torpedo tubes. Recommend you place your colony on alert, set up any defenses. We can see if, we will watch for their return.
Excellent. Great. Love to hear that.
If you can send another message, obviously, and make a persuasion test.
Yeah,
I mean, let them know. I was gonna say if this ship is trying to intercept the cargo ship, that's like a transport union issue.
Yeah.
We
also need those. Yeah.
All right, and we were being legit, and these guys are just like rushing gates.
Yeah. Yeah, I will send another message back saying appreciate all the information that you sent us. However, if there is a way for you to potentially send someone to intercept this vessel, it is supposedly on the tail of a supply vessel headed our direction as well, something that might be of interest to you. So this may be something that you might want to put a little extra kick into, if you catch my drift.
Go ahead and give me a persuasion test.
Okay. A lot of twos.
14. That's not...
Nothing's better than triples. It's, you win.
I win. I did it. I win.
So you're waiting for the response.
While I wait for the response, though, I want to loop everyone else in what they told me, and then also send out, let Persephone know, hey, assuming they can't do anything, we might just need to prepare, in the next coming months for there to be a potential problem. So just so they're not completely caught off guard.
Loki, you're monitoring the satellite, the torpedo, the jamming torpedo. Give me a technology test.
Gladly. I have rolled a massive 9 with 1 stunt point. If you want to jot that 1 stunt point down.
No, I'm not going to.
Okay, great.
Yep.
The other shoes dropping right before our eyes.
The
right as they're about to communicate, the camera cuts to Loki, and I lean back, take off my headphones, and start drinking a coffee. Just missed it.
Just missed it. Oops. You do get a response from Medina. They're like, understood. Your resupply ship has been contacted. They are taking appropriate action.
It's better than nothing.
We could have contacted the supply ship.
At which point I will say, soon thereafter, you see the supply ship kick into a high G burn and veer off, actually, away from the planet, sort of going in a different direction.
All right.
You see several torpedoes launch from the pursuing ship, and it continues on a course towards your planet.
The torpedoes go towards the supply ship.
Towards the supply ship, yes.
I would think it'd be a good idea to start warning people that this is coming towards us, but maybe do it in a way that doesn't cause panic. I don't know what the best way would be to do that, though.
I'd say talk to their leadership. We take an assessment situation and see what kind of recommendations they have. They might have some ex-military people too, and they might have some others, some ideas. I mean, we've helped them. I mean, I'm sure, and this would be a common threat. So,
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
And also, I think
Everything
Persephone's going to be the best at talking to, their own people
Yeah.
a little bit easier, know what'll keep them a little bit calmer, than us as outside individuals.
And
I
if
don't wanna
everything else fails, we can just bring in a civilian focus group and ask them questions about how they feel.
I think
Yeah.
that maybe that is a good thing to do, but probably not in this current crisis situation. But good to keep that in mind for the future.
Nice to have a plan C.
All right, let's go. Let's sit down. Can we get a sit down with Persephone?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We're gonna invite them over to our camp or whatever works
Sure.
for her.
You,
Okay.
you got, your conference room. You got a little.
So yeah, I'll have all the various department heads here for that.
All right.
And serve up something consumable, and
Mushroom tea.
there you go. And ask. I kind of want to lay it out for them what we have, what we know. Basically, the ship's coming through. It's fired on our supply ship, which is what we're largely been using to trade with the locals. We don't really have any orbital defenses. We have a very minimal defenses here on the ground. The trade union doesn't seem interested in trying to intercept this situation.
Yeah, that sounds like the trade union.
Mm.
They don't seem to. Well, anyway.
Once they get your tariff, they're done with you, right?
Well, that and there's a lot going on out there, but so what do we have planned? I mean,
Right
do
now
we know
we
what
have-
they want? Do we?
No, we don't know what they want. They won't communicate with us. And they've fired on our communication satellite. And so we've set up a defense for that, but it's a one kind of shot defense. So we're curious if they do come down here, what kind of capabilities might your colony have for such a circumstance?
Hide? I really don't know. We've never encountered anything. I mean, why would they be the lithium?
What about the lithium?
Word got out about the lithium and rhodium. Somebody talked.
Yeah, that could be it. They are bringing a freighter in. I mean, Grendel class isn't exactly a small ship. Okay.
We need to find out who let them know.
That might be a bad idea. Neville, you want to try to figure out if anyone was in our camp that did that?
Yeah, I'd like to. Yeah, we need to do that.
All right.
Okay.
And then Persephone, if you can find anything about potential leaks, it would help us out a lot.
I'll do what I can. I mean, pretty much everybody knows about it at this point. So,
Well, I'm more concerned people that got it off the planet.
right. I mean, you have all the access to the satellite, so
they don't have any communication capability outside.
well, they do, but they do it through you essentially. So
Gotcha.
your checking is going to be able to do the best. Do we want to let everyone know, Pax?
It's up to you. I mean, you know your people best and how they would manage and deal with it.
What depends. What are we going to tell them to do? I mean,
you're their leader. whatever you think is appropriate.
well, this is sort of your colony now. I mean,
If all else fails, we can have them hide in the hole. I mean, we did clear it out. I mean, it's a safe spot.
It's only a safe spot if the raiders don't know about it, but apparently we have a leak.
you can only sort of
Yeah,
get
and also
one at a time.
if those creatures aren't
Yeah.
congregating around it anymore,
Well,
that was
that's very
kind
true,
of a
yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
I mean, Well, right now in this particular instance, there's not really anyone on this place can actually actively do against this. They're still a ways away. Even if they, fire on us, it's still going to take a little bit of time for it to get here. So, as for what your folks should do right now, I mean, let them know that there's. I want to make sure that they know that there's someone coming who's probably not too terribly friendly. But I mean, I don't know what to tell them beyond that. I mean,
do you mind addressing the colony? It's not really my thing. I'm more of an administrator than a leader.
I mean, sure, yeah. If we can collaborate, you and I, and figure out the best way to tell them.
A joint presentation would be the best.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you want to come up with a plan as to what they should do, let me know when, and then we'll talk. And then we'll give them make an announcement. If we do it as a joint thing, it would be best.
All right.
The way I see it, there's two problems that we need to address. One is planetary defense on the ground here, which I'm sure Neville will take care of. But the other thing is maybe there is something we can do before they get here. We should look into that. We don't have any torpedoes, right?
You do not have any torpedoes. You theoretically have the capability of maybe pulling together and manufacturing one PDC cannon. The shuttle has all the with what you could replicate and what's on that shuttle. You could manage to cobble one together.
My issue with manufacturing weapons and like putting a weapon up like that is that indicates that we want to fight them, and that might just pull more aggression our way. So that's kind of my issue with it. I feel like we would just be escalating. I mean, throwing one of our crappy shuttles in the way of a torpedo, that's like whatever. That's us. That's showing that we're not. That also lets them know that we're not like well armed. So they might misjudge us even then too. So I feel like
we can keep the PDC a secret until they fire torpedoes on us and then pop it out or something.
It might be in our best interest to use some of the local wildlife in weapon. The leeches, they come up when things vibrate and latch onto anything. And if you move, they'll continue to attack. But these raiders don't know this. They'll continue to run and be attacked. All we need to do is create a vibration as soon as they arrive.
Well, that's assuming that they're also going to land. Well, I mean, never mind. That would be ridiculous if they didn't land here. They know this is where the stuff is. Your plan sounds like a good one, but also we need to make sure that none of the people here fall into that, because they don't seem to care, if they just landed fresh or if they've been here, this whole time.
That's the more reason to find whoever leaked this stuff out, because if they're working with these guys, that any plan we come up with is just going to leak to these guys. They're going to just they're going to counter.
Is it awesome? Dr. Batenko,
Neville, go and give me that security test. Give me a security test to go through the communication logs.
And that's what is security under?
If you have, don't you have security as a focus under? I think it's intelligence. Well, what do you have?
I have tactics and technology.
Yeah, use technology then. That's fine.
Okay.
Same.
7.
You needed.
I really shouldn't be rolling. I don't think I have.
Should be.
I don't get over 10.
You're going through the logs. You're having a hard time sifting through. There seems to be some corruption that you're having to redo. I will allow for another test at a somewhat future point.
It might be better if you look through this too, Loki.
That's what I was going to suggest. Yeah, whoever sent this message must have gone through the satellite, so there will be a timestamp of whoever sent this information, and maybe we can see in obscurity something to look into.
I'm happy to use research if we're going through records.
I'll let you both make a test, and yeah, good, both of you.
I rolled a 13, and since this one is character, can I use a point to bump it up?
You don't need a point. It was
I
an
don't need to
11.
bump it. I got it. You're the man. Thanks.
It's
Ian.
easy. It was an easy test.
Yeah, tell that to me and Scott over here rolling bumps trying to break a 9, man.
Yeah, you need an 11. You got it. And you both did. So you managed to patch up the corruption and figure out eventually what's going on. Takes you another day. You have enough call logs, and a lot of it there's transcripts for. So you're able to figure out pretty quickly that this wasn't, you don't think, was like a spy as much as people communicating to relatives and friends on Medina Station and such, saying, "Oh, we found this stuff. We're going to be rich," kind of thing. It wasn't. So there's a number of logs of people.
What I have discovered is terrible. All of these people gave this information away for free. At least I could have sold this information to the highest bidder. This is a horrible waste of information.
So, okay, well, in that case, I want to put a lockdown on like outgoing communications via the satellite.
Sure.
Because we need people not to be giving away any of this information because this could get worse.
We need to let people know too to maybe.
Yeah. So what?
So at this point, you're probably going to have to make some kind of an announcement because
let's
why are you
let
locking?
know. Look, our supply ship's has been attacked on. Where there's a torpedo trying to hit our satellite. Where we have a plan currently being deployed that we think could work. We don't really know what. Yeah, we want to make an effort to have a better defense force if there is a aggressive party that comes planet side. The problem though is that I don't know how much we can do if they have more torpedoes. How many torpedoes they have left? I mean, how many? They launched quite a few at our transport ship, right?
They just launched two torpedoes.
So they've launched 3 so far, and then they had the 4th floating, but I don't know how many they're carrying. So
probably more than 3.
Yeah, a Grendel's pretty big, so they can fit a lot in there. Okay.
So Maria, I presume Pax is going to make a joint announcement with Persephone. Is there anything you want to add to that, or any structure particularly you want to give to that?
So just to refresh what we've established, can you remind me? My brain kind of wandered for 2
Totally
seconds. So we know this ship is coming. It's going to be here potentially in a couple of months.
Yep.
Hopefully not sooner. We established that it might have more torpedoes on it, so it could potentially be
Probably.
It probably has more torpedoes, so it potentially could be a sooner threat, as in couple weeks as opposed to a couple of months. We have some contingencies that we can start putting into play now for if they get onto the station, as well as what I might not mention is the PBC thing that we might be working on as a secret thing to keep them at bay. Is that correct?
No, that project we abandoned.
You abandoned that?
Shuttle.
We abandoned that.
Yeah, it was the problem was we either send up our crappy shuttle and have it intercept, or we cannibalize that shuttle to add a PDC to our good shuttle, but then we threaten losing both shuttles. That was my issue with
Got it. Okay, yeah, I missed that. We scrapped that. Okay. Okay, so we have an intercept plan. We have contingencies for when / if they get here. And great. It certainly looks good and charming and very good.
So you're trying to, we got this under control kind of thing.
Yeah. That's definitely the spin that I am going to very heavily push is laying out factual information and then ending it with a but. We've gone through things, hard things before, bringing up the incursion of creatures and the strangeness that we've already encountered here on the planet. We are used to banding together in these hard times, etc., etc.
All right. Got leadership test. 13.
Yeah, and I want to
Heck.
make I want to make sure also that people know that we have an initiative to develop a security force.
Well, yeah,
13.
they know that. I mean, because you are training people, you just didn't get your security forces up and trained. You made it. You got 3 stunt points as well. Is there any thoughts on your stunt points there? Is anything in particular you want to do, or if you just have ideas you just want to throw at me?
There's not really
I mean, you have
anything to do.
You have real quick on Maria on your sheet. You have 2 stunts that are preferred, which is cards on the table, which is basically if you're honest with people. That helps out, and then they have to be honest with you about how they feel, and then sway the crowd is the big one for you.
Right, but like I don't know if sway the crowd's necessarily going to do anything in this particular situation.
You could just do cards on the table, which will make them be a little more. It's going to get them on your side. That no one's going to try and get a message out or anything like that. And then if you could, just
I guess I will do cards on the table.
Which if you have to do a follow up later, that'll give you.
Yeah, that's great. I will do cards on the table, and I'll add on to the speech essentially. That if anyone has any ideas or any extra information that you want to bring to myself or the team that I am working in to help us all help each other, please do so.
All right, so you give a good speech. You and Persephone's up there with you. She's because she really is more of an administrator than a leader, but she's there to back you up. And lend her support and have them. They seem to that definitely does seem to help. Everyone, you keep them calm. You've got it under control for now. No one comes right up with anything in particular, but you do get people volunteering to help. However is necessary. Basically, they're willing to do whatever.
Okay.
So I will give you have a free, if you need a person to do a thing, even a particular skilled thing, you've got them, that you can pull a person to do that.
I just came up with one other option for the whole colony here. And this is going to be kind of a Hail Mary type situation for us. So look, we got investors off site and we have a deep credit line with them. We could ask them to send a mercenary ship. Like, even if these guys were to come down here and try to steal stuff, they're not walking out of the system.
I don't think that's a terrible idea at all.
I mean, it's not going to defend us the immediate in the next few weeks, but these guys won't. I mean, they're not going to get out of the system with the lithium in 6 months. Right. It's going to take them a while to haul it all up. And by that time, we'd have a ship here to. I'm like, shoot, man, maybe we could. We might even build it for the Rocinante. I don't know. But we do have a deep credit network off world. But it's yeah. I'm willing to put my money up. Is what I'm saying. I'm willing to put money up. I'm willing to.
All right.
Keep the dream alive.
I got that. Let's sort of jump ahead because we're running low on time. So I want to get to a good point with this. I'm going to make that a plot action. If you using against a threat for you to bring in when we call
hired
that a plot action, to bring in hired guns using your economy to try to bring in hired guns to help you out. Meanwhile, you were getting that shuttle up there to stop the torpedo. Why don't we just do that really quick and see if that's successful? You're doing it remotely entirely. You're launching it, and
that's the plan.
Yeah, because it didn't have life. We weren't worried about life support on it and keeping people safe. And then the idea was to program it to intercept.
Okay.
The only idea I have other than that is where someone would need to be on it is if I could get to the torpedo and manually turn it off so that we have a torpedo.
It is going so fast.
It is.
Gets there. I mean, it's probably going some significant portion of sea at that point.
Yeah, you would liquefy yourself before you would be exploded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
well, then I'll just send the show.
yeah. So what I'm going to do for doing that, I want 2 tests straight up, which will be a technology test, basically to maintain the link well, and to avoid as much latency as you possibly can, and then a piloting test to remote pilot the thing into position at the right time. It's going to make it real simple.
If Loki can do the technology, I got piloting in spades.
Loki made the technology test.
Oh my god! All right.
Hang on to put it into position, because it's a dumb torpedo, but it does have like a little bit of AI and that will adjust its course. To make that piloting test, you are going to. It's a little harder than usual. You're going to need, I think, a 16.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Is this a personal or a plot?
This is you, personal.
Then I shall spend 2 fortune.
Okay, with 2 fortune, boom, you got it.
That's
Oh,
close.
I hadn't been adjusting your churn track. Damn.
It should be about like 6 points or so.
Yeah,
We have at
let's
least
just-
7.
let's
I
just
generated like 2
call
on a
it-
roll.
Yeah, we're gonna pop you over. I'll deal with that in a minute. So,
Just roll a d100 in and just pick what you like.
well, hang on. No, because it's still 1d6 roll. I got to roll 1d6, and on a 4 through 6, you get an event. That's what happens. Rolling 1d6. Roll 5. Okay.
I believe that's nothing, right?
No, that's you have a. Oh, that's no. Oh, you're right. That's no effect. I had it
Yeah,
backwards.
High is
Yeah, you're right.
what you want.
Okay, so cool. You didn't. Oh man,
Good, my
I know
engine
exactly
didn't
what
burn
I would
out.
have done. Though that would have been an automatically failed test.
Yeah.
Taking out your torpedo. So
Hey, that would have been hilarious.
okay, so 7. Let's call it 7. Put you about there. All right. So you do manage to stop the torpedo from taking out your satellite. You do still have communications, which will be necessary for doing your plot action. Is there any other prep things, or do you have any thoughts on how you're going to deal with these guys when they get here?
Do I have time to train a little, at least a small group of people to be ready?
If you're going to just go for a small group, we can do that as a plot action as well. And
Yes,
we'll see
I'd
if you
like to.
get it there.
I'd love to see if we could whip together like a vibrating stake dune style to stab into the ground before these potential pirates land. See if we can hit them with the lamprey eel attack.
Not a problem. I'm not going to make
No.
you have a test for that. That would be so easy for you all to do. That's fine. Yeah,
Yeah, I
you
think
can come up with
Marius
something
probably
that'll go
made one
a
accident.
thumper basically that will drive up the grazers.
Pretty much everything else seems secondary when
Well, I
you
was
got
going to
death
look into the
coming.
mercenary thing too. That was the plot action.
Yeah.
I think that.
Yeah, that's a plot.
I kind of
Yes.
want to put Rylan on that one, but I'm not sure. Or Neville. I'm not sure. If Neville's training people, I'd rather.
Yeah, Ryland would probably be
What do you
the
think,
one.
Ryan? Do you want me to do it, or do you want to do it?
You can both do it too. You can both. Be
Like,
part
I'm
of
gonna flex. I'm gonna flex the cash. Okay, I'm gonna do the.
right. I mean, it would make sense for you to. She'd probably, he rather, would be talking to the people directly, but with you kind of standing in the background of this research is really important. It's going to make you a lot of money.
I'm a real scientist.
All right. So if this is, I'm not sure if we're doing these checks yet, but we have the economy of the credit network, which is a 3.
Yep.
How much? What if I put my own money into this too? I have an income score of 10.
Right.
I'm wealthy, so like
Yep.
I could throw some bones at this way pretty easily. 'Cause I want the dream. I really believe in this dream.
I will say that every permanent reduction you want to take will give you a +1.
All right, I'll put 2 into it. So
All
I'm
right.
gonna +5.
Okay. And you have persuasion, so I will also give Rylan a +1.
Okay.
Give you all plus one for the plot. So you have a +6 for the plot action to
Okay.
well, to see if you can get mercenaries, get your funders to get mercenaries to come out here. So go ahead and give me a. We'll do a economy test.
Do you want me to roll that right now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Boom. Well, big money.
Big money, big money.
That was a 21.
Wow.
You are definitely successful. You don't get anything crazy because no stunt points, but a 21 will
Yes.
arrange for a mercenary ship to get out here. It's not going to get here before.
No, but it's more of I want to make sure that we have it registered. We have like the paperwork that's going to happen, the contract, that there's someone that like is known.
Yep.
They're not just like we're not trying to go with like some schmucks like off of that have some guns and there's a weekend warriors. We want pros.
Right.
And then what we're going to do is once we have that contract signed up and we know what their deal is, we're going to send it to these guys and like try to broadcast it across the system saying like, you can come here, but you will suffer if you do.
So yeah, you managed to get like the Pinkertons or something.
Pink water, man. Get pink water.
Pink water. Pink water. Pink water. They weren't based on the Pinkertons at all. Pink water.
No, couldn't be. So yeah, we have like a pink water.
Yeah, you don't have anything. Again, no stunt points, so you don't have anyone famous, or you weren't able to get the Rossi to come out here to, to come on.
We got like a brand name. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but you have a brand name.
We didn't get a bunch of guys with like guns that go on the weekends and start shooting stuff up around the system.
Okay, so you've got that. What was the other thing you were doing? I can't remember.
Trading some people.
Oh, training. Right. There you go.
Yeah.
So yes, that will require another force test.
Do I add anything to it?
Yes.
Last time it was what, a +3, I think.
Yeah, go ahead and keep your +3. I didn't actually roll to oppose the 21, but I don't think I could have beat it, so it doesn't matter.
We invested highly in it.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can roll better this time. Hey, I got a 17.
That is pretty good, and we'll probably do it.
You hit it when it counts, man.
So you do have a small cadre of people, and in fact, you have one that can act almost as a leader for them because of the earlier leadership test and the stunt points from that. One of them is a retired security person from Tycho, and previously he actually had not joined your cadre of trainees. Because he wasn't really interested in doing that anymore. He's older, retired, but Pax's speech invigorated him, and he steps forward. Well, actually, I have experience, and so you've got another, competent security person
Excellent.
in your group. So your colony, your supply ship basically does sort of it's, when they changed their vector, they sort of started heading out of the elliptical essentially, and more or less do a loop-de-loop and start heading the other way back towards the gate. Not wanting, and they do manage to, they did have some PDC cannons. They did manage to take down the torpedoes, but take out the torpedoes, but they pretty much just book it out of the gate at this point. And several numbers of weeks later, the ship is there. Is approaching the planet. You do have your mercenaries. You know what? I'm just going to say they're 3d6 weeks behind. They are 14 weeks behind. That wasn't great. But they are, so they will get through before, but they're actually not through the gate before the ship, the pirate ship or whatever gets to you. So you don't actually have that threat visible yet.
Yeah.
Tell them you have it coming, And certainly it'll come through before they can get back out.
Yeah. So when we send this message off to these guys, do we notice any kind of like difference in their performance? Like, do they any course changes, hesitations, etc.?
Sorry, what you are sending a message? What you are sending?
Yeah, once we get the mercenary contract ready to go, I'm going to let these guys know that we have forces on the way coming from Medina Station area, where the slow zone, to intercept them and stop them from basically stealing from us or whatever aggressive actions they're trying to take here.
Okay, this will be
Intimidation,
a communications test.
Okay.
I will give you an automatic +2 because you do have the mercenary company coming.
We have evidence. We have the receipts.
You have enough evidence to show them that it's actually happening.
Okay.
If they were already through, it would be more. But
I want to use my expression focus, which is like explain the whole situation to them, try to lay out like a presentation.
Sure.
my argument on why they need to not attack us.
Right, and this will be an opposed test for them.
And I'll get an extra +2, so roll this and add +2. Okay, cool. Let's see what I get here. I got a 13 with additional +2, so 15.
Okay, they have it'll come right out there.
Ooh.
Huh. Well then.
Something's happening, guys.
So, you're saying you have mercenaries coming.
They actually communicate with us now.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is when yeah, they're in close enough. Well, they could communicate. There'd be time delay, but yeah, you send that message out and they do respond.
Okay.
You say you have mercenaries coming. We don't see anything yet. We're clearly going to get there before you can do anything. I've got 12 armed and armored people on board this ship. How about we negotiate?
So my whole thing is my part of my presentation explains basically how long it'll take, approximately how long it would take them to take all our stuff, our lithium, whatever the hell it is, along with the mercenaries would be here well before they even get that set up and operating.
Hey, this is the response you get back at this point.
And I'm like, there's nothing down here for you unless you're interested in becoming a dedicated part of our colony. There's nothing down here for you. Unless you want a job, we give you a job.
You got a shuttle.
Okay.
Fill it full of lithium. Send it up to us.
What percentage of our lithium would that be?
And do we get the shuttle back?
You can have the shuttle.
That's nothing. That's nothing.
That does seem pretty arbitrary.
It'll use up a good chunk of what you've got there, but theoretically there's more elsewhere.
Yeah.
So. All
right, I'll say let me consult with my the other colonists real quick, and we'll get right back to you. And I'll go I'll have Rylan and myself go talk to Persephone and present this to her, and then see if Persephone is on board with that, just to make sure we avoid.
I think it's a great idea because either way, the mercenaries are going to get it back for us.
We could just help blast these guys out of the sky. I mean, they're already ready to do it.
Yeah. They're already paid. You're not going to get your money back.
Yeah, I'll just give it to them. Just screw it. And if they can then give it back, help might even get a Grendel freighter out of it, or tell the mercenaries that's a tip. Okay. If Persephone's down for this, to load us with the lithium that we have here to prevent basically what amounts to an orbital bombardment for these people, I am more than happy to do that.
Yeah, we don't need any casualties down here at all.
So they aren't stupid. They do want, as part of the agreement, that they want to be in on a comms transmission where you call off the dogs, basically. Okay. Now, that's not to say you couldn't call them back afterwards and say, no, go get them. But they do push it at least that far.
Yeah, no, we'll get them. We'll make sure that you get out of the system safely. Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Sorry.
But they do that call where initially you talk to the mercenaries and call them off. or at least make have them on
We
standby.
tell the
in case
mercenaries that
these
we're currently in
guys-
negotiations with these
Right.
assailants, and that we will notify for the mercenaries basically to hold in position on the edge of the system until and only to fire if we're fired upon, basically.
Okay. Do you send a private message then?
Oh, afterwards?
Different-
Oh yeah, I'll tell them. I'll be like, yeah, these guys are dicks. Like, they try to blow our communications out of the sky, and like, feel free, legitimate salvage. This is
Okay.
This is what I tell them.
So you're going to load up the
Not a problem.
the shuttle. You do
Not a
that. That uses up a good chunk of your lithium. You still got some rhodium left. Someone's going to have to pilot that thing up there.
Darius.
I have the skills.
You
I'll
probably
go
want
with
more
you.
than one person too. I mean,
Yeah, I'll
Neville.
go with you. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm in.
Yeah, send the belters. Yeah.
you can do that if you want.
I mean,
I'll
yeah,
make-
if Persephone has any volunteers from her camp, I'd be more happy to have them go up there.
I mean, no one's really excited about that. I mean, your old security
No.
dude will go up just in case they try to
Okay.
board you if you want.
There we go.
No, I just point out to Neville that they sent the belters. I guess we're expendable.
I think so.
Oh, gotcha.
As like a jest.
All right. So you fill up the shuttle, launch it up, meet them about a week out. They've been doing a braking burn the whole way in, managed to come down to a decent speed. You got to match speed with them, yada yada. Go ahead. You all are moving, so you are going to need to make a pilot test to dock. You need a 10.
20.
You got a 20 with 4 stun points. Do you want to do anything crazy? I don't know.
He stops in the parking lot and does donuts.
A 20 with 4 stun points, people.
I'm going to, because they're dicks, I'm going to, like, in the most risky, terrifying way, dock with them. But, like,
Okay.
up until the last second, it looks like we're all dead.
Looks like you're going to crash into them. And
Yeah.
then full thrusters, you do a little
Flex
flip
down.
and glide perfectly into place. All right. Yeah, you scare the crap out of them. They're not happy. Whoa. Back off. What are you doing? Ah! You're over the comms. And then chunk, you lock up. Sigh of relief on their side. Some of the belter people start unloading crates. You see on their side they do have guys, not like heavy combat armor, but they do have some breastplates and such with assault rifles. But they stay over there. They don't board your shuttle. But they do keep an eye on everything as you do that. Unload. Anything else you want to do before you leave and go back to the planet?
Yeah. I'm going to say, and don't come back. And then I'm going to give them an obscene gesture of belter origin.
Very well.
I'll be like,
I'm sure there's a. Is that an actual?
It is now.
I'm sure belters have a number of obscene.
No, there's
gestures.
very many of them.
Yeah.
There's a rich and wonderful culture.
for every possible anything. Anyway, they nod, close the airlock, detach, and they flip. They do a flip and burn and head back out towards the gate. You do the same thing, essentially coming back. Just for fun, give me another piloting test to land the thing. Again,
I'll send a message back to base 2 saying they could probably have the supply ship come to the planet now.
Yeah, did the supply ship survive?
Oh yeah, it survived. It took off
Okay.
back. It's already back through the ring at this point.
Oh,
Did it drop off supplies for us?
No,
Oh.
it went out towards the elliptical and then out of the elliptical
Oh.
and then back in and back for the gate.
Well, then we'll have our.
Just did a
We
big
can have
move.
them tell them
Yeah,
it's
if
safe
they-
now.
Yeah, if everything's taken care of there, I'll just send another message to Medina being like, hello, everyone. We'd like our supply ship back.
They want to wait until the situation
Gotcha.
with this ship is resolved. Like it's out of the system, and
Understood.
Fair.
And tell them to coordinate with pink water.
if you could send us a little extra on top of
as
what
soon as
you
Pinkwater
already-
takes it.
Yeah.
And also, this would be, if we were continuing, I would probably do this as a threat in that you're be short on food supplies and short on other supplies you would have to deal with. So this would be a thing you would have to deal with. Yeah, you made the test to land the
Yes,
ship, no
sir.
problem.
15, no problem.
Nice, smooth landing. No issues there. You're back. So we have the. Let's see here. I'm just gonna do a quick because they are pretty well gunned. I mean, Pinkwater is good, and they've got a better ship, but not a whole lot.
Anybody's game, huh?
I'm gonna do a 3d6 plus 5 for Pinkwater, and then a 3d6 plus 2 for the other one. Pinkwater wins. So there, since they got stunt points as well, they managed to take disable the pirate ship pretty quickly and board it and take it. They're happy to give you a point of your income back, basically, since they get the salvage of I mean, not only do they get the ship, they also have a ship full of lithium.
Yeah.
So they're pretty happy. You're happy.
I'd like to have that be kind of a point not to come over here and do this kind of stuff again. You know?
That could definitely. I will actually give you next time around a bonus on increase in security, probably to actually increase your force if you wanted to, or media, whichever way you wanted to go with it. Basically, either you're hyping up your people on the planet and they're excited, or you can use it to try to increase your media presence. So yeah, that was what I had prepared. Why don't we actually just go ahead then, since we're here? We'll do another round of tests. We actually did not do one for the colony improvement.
Oh yeah, colony improvement. That's right. They can grow.
Yeah. During that 3 months of time,
the galaxy has seen how we go to bat for our people.
Yep.
We keep people safe.
Theoretically, this takes place. This is over the course of that 3 months. And that is the wrong thing. You do not want that. All my papers are a mess. There we go. If only I had the actual book yet. In front of me. Colony growth. Right, there we go. So, colony growth, you roll 3d6 and you add the highest stat of the colony, which is 3 for science. So you get to make it. I was doing one a month because it's in the early stages of the colony. Mm-hmm. So let's make it 3 tests. You need an 11 each time. Who all wants to make those?
I want to do the first one. I really want to see. I want to see my colony grow. All right, here we go.
Make the first test.
And I rolled a 14.
A 14 is successful.
And I got. We're using the last die as the stunt points here.
What's that again?
Which
you do use stunt points here. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. So you made the successful growth check. Colony growth stunts. You have 3 stunt points. No, 5 stunt points.
5, yeah. I like to do the. I'm really tempted to do added industry and increase an ability rated from 5 or less by 1.
Yeah,
so I thought about increasing our force by 1.
That makes perfect sense.
All right, cool. We've been working on that. All right, cool.
Yep. So part of your training, you actually did increase your force by 1. So your force is now up to 1.
We're on the board.
Literally better than nothing.
Well, you could be negative.
Oh no.
The attributes work exactly like character attributes. It's -2 to 6 or theoretically higher. Scott, why don't you make the second one since that went to security?
What do I add to that? Just
+3.
+3. Okay, that's what I thought. 19. Double sixes.
Dang.
Double
There you
sixes.
go.
And you have 6 10 points to spend. Wow.
A force.
Yeah,
You could up the force.
I definitely want to up the force.
Substantial growth.
So what you could do there is you could increase the force, and you could also add a point of stability.
Well, yeah, I'll do that.
That would make sense. So your force is now 2, and your stability is +1. And
cool.
go ahead. Oh, Maria, why don't you make the third one?
Sure. Is this still just +3?
Yes.
16.
Very nice.
16. No stunt points. That's just a success. So it doesn't really do much, but it keeps you from having anything bad happen.
Hey, no
So-
negatives is a positive, right?
Yep, no negatives is a positive because you have stunt failures, and those are bad. Colony mishaps, yay. That's what you need on top of everything. So yeah, during that time, what makes perfect sense is you do the training. You're training people, you inspired people. The whole situation evokes this feeling of need for better security around the colony, and your security increases significantly over the course of that time. Sorry. Oh, wait, sorry. Doing something. So you end up with a colony actually in better shape than you had before. After this point, I would probably start making colony tests every 3 months. Basically just do the colony test and the project tests every 3 months. But you also do have a threat of that you have low supplies essentially at this point. So there's possibility of people starving or just getting injured or what have you, because you just don't have enough supplies for the colony. So that is your major threat coming up. But other than that, I'm going to say we're going to have to call it here. We could open the floor to questions from observers,
Yes.
or if any of you have any comments or
I have a
whatever.
question.
Yes.
Are the hip razors edible?
Probably not.
razors. That was maybe my big question, was how to fix the hunger, was to see if they're edible or not.
Well, and that would be a thing that I would be. There's 2 ways we could deal with that, right? I could either just say no. I could have you make a science test to see if you can somehow make it edible, or we could do it as part of the threat. And if you did well on the threat, we might say, "Oh, well, you discovered these are edible, right?"
Yeah, because I was going to say my one of my ideas would be to look at the chiral technology we're using and see if we can adapt it to
the
processing their, for lack of a better term, flesh.
Right. So if I was to do that, probably what I'd do, if we were to go further with this, and that's what you wanted to do to keep it hands-on for you, probably do that. But then I'd throw in some kinks and things like that, possibly some other difficulties that causes you have to overcome to one, you'd have to get one of these things and kill it, right?
Well, we have one.
Maybe. Well, that's right, you do have one. Yes. True. So.
Oh yeah, no, we're ready to kill him and grill him.
Right. So that would be a possible way of
Cool.
solving the thing. But there could be other, maybe
Yeah.
it turns out you eat it and it sustains you, but it causes some other problem too. So there's other things, especially if we went into the next churn level.
Oh dear God.
But wow. So I just really want to say, before we go any further here, I just want to say thank you to all of you for helping out with this. And I had a lot of fun putting this together and exploring these new rules, which I hadn't even had really much of a chance to play with. I sat down and when during development, I made some colonies and sort of ran myself through it a bit, but that was a long time ago at this point. But actually seeing it in play is a lot of fun, and I hope people get a chance to check it out.
I also had a blast, and it was really cool seeing how the colony system works parallel to like full storytelling, because you put a pause on like the colony stuff, then you do like, story stuff, but then you come back to it and like they feed each other very well. And it's just really cool. Because the long-term stuff is usually what I have trouble running. Because like day to day, like go do an adventure, that's fine. But like the minutia and then like the stuff that can come from these kinds of things is all laid out here, like the mishaps and all that stuff. It's very story pushing kind of thing.
Hey, you all made all of your tests for colony growth, but there's a lot of opportunity for things to go horribly wrong.
That's the best part is our colony grew, but we sucked at our projects when we started.
I wouldn't say suck. You're working on it.
Didn't we go 0 for 3, man? It's kind of rough.
Yeah,
it was interesting. No, I like the system a lot. I think it's fun, but I definitely, this is something that like I definitely want to use in my game at some point in the future. I can see it being a big kind of part of the game, and like once everyone's kind of like, once you kind of get into the zone of it, it just works really well. And that's one thing I like about it. It's not a completely different system than the base system.
Right.
I think that's really clever.
I can see something like it would be really fun to almost run two groups at the same time, where you have the group who's out adventuring and a group on the colony, and you could sort of switch back and forth and have two adventures going on in the same world with the same system, but two totally different things. Watching the Expanse, I always think about that whenever they're doing all the political UN things back on Earth. I'm like, well, that's a party of playable characters, but they're just not in spaceships. And so this kind of reminds me of, all right, everybody, let's switch to your secondary characters and see how things are going back at your base. And then you can go back to your forward crew. So I think there's some really cool bits and pieces and playability here that I really like.
Yeah, what is it called? West Marches? Is that the style of game? It's a little D&D term for like you'd have like a group of like different characters that players can pull from. I think it was
right.
Yeah, you used to play as like different parties at the same time. Yeah.
Like there's a lot of it in some games.
That can certainly become really overwhelming for a group of role players, and I think that kind of anchoring one group to the base and saying you're the base group. This is what you do. You're the colony. So if you're not running, then the people who are stuck out on the ship are going to suffer also. So it's almost a way for you to play your own and support your own system in a neat way.
I mean, you can also include a colony with like if you have a group that starts out with a colony or what have you that they own for whatever reason or started, you can also do the colony just completely off to the side and just do the advancements as your regular Expanse stories go on. And then, if something happens, maybe the characters have to rush back and,
background colony.
Yeah, just you can do it completely as a background kind of thing if you want. What you were saying there too is thinking if you wanted to go into like a little bit of PvP kind of thing almost, you could have two separate groups that have separate colonies in the same system that are working against each other to some degree, and that they become the threat for each other, and they can each come up with different ways of sabotaging the other group.
That could be a whole lot of fun. Have them each like mining the same asteroid belt or something, so it is a direct competition, but it's everything except for war, just what you can get away with.
Right. Yeah. That's the thing. There might be some kind of oversight that keeps you from, out and out conflict. There might be a UNN ship station there or whatever, but. You can do all kinds of subversive stuff. So that's
a lot of fun sabotagery there.
Well, one thing I like about it too is you have these checks, these projects, and stuff like that too that they can pass a lot of time. And so that's one thing that's kind of like if you read the books of the Expanse, this is based on, there's big time shifts. So from basically when like Leviathan Wakes begins to when the trade unions form is like 8 years. It's like 10 years. I mean, it's a long time. There's like huge gaps of like years between events. And so I kind of like this, that you could even do your session where you have your campaign culminate into like they build this colony. Then you have your next session where they kind of manage the colony for like a year or two or whatever it is, however long you want to go. And then that launches the next adventure.
Yep. Yep.
So your colony rules basically are creating your next like campaign or whatever it is, which is really kind of I feel like I'm cheating if I did that. Like, but that's the great thing about these tools. That's what they're for, is to simulate you.
Well, and the Expanse and Age games also have interludes built. The idea of interludes already built in. So you can sort of do the colony stuff during interludes. Okay, well, you're flying from here to here, do a colony check.
Because interludes are like usually between like a day to a month, but if we're talking like a year, that's a huge lot of stuff going on. And I think that the colonies that's what the colony system kind of reminds me of, is just a scaled up interlude system.
Yep. Or the thing I thought of also, if you've ever played Pendragon, or anybody's familiar with the old Pendragon game, Chasm, it very much had where you have your knights go out and adventure, and you have a story, and then you do your maintenance on your manor and your estate, and try and build and grow that as well, which gives you access to better horses, better equipment, all that kind of stuff too.
Yeah, I thought a lot about Birthright.
Yeah, Birthright would be the other.
That had a whole different system, but that's what I like about this version is like it's the same system essentially.
Right.
It's
so if you know one,
scale.
you know the other.
It's really easy to pick up. Yeah.
Yeah. It's easy enough. All right. Well, we're a little bit early, but I try to time things, but you all did too well, really.
Did we? Really?
The hiring the mercenaries sort of short circuit. I thought there'd be a little bit of action on the planet or something, but nope.
So yeah. So if you have watched Abraxas Precipice, you'll know that Akib Batenko has already seen too much action as it is, and he's not interested in witnessing more firsthand.
That's fair.
But no, that's always kind of that was kind of like, I was sitting there thinking about it. I was like, well, we can throw, because I was looking at our skill list. We had that credit network, and I was like, well, these guys have invested. They would want to make sure that like we are there to return their investment, so they might be willing to hire up some security pretty quick.
Right. Well, and if this had been if this had been a more typical Expanse story, I probably again also would have wanted there to be some action, and it had been more concerned about that. Where given the nature of this story, I was kind of okay with. You managed to pull that off, it's all good.
And from my perspective, it felt like the action was going to be us being bombed from space with torpedoes. that was how I feel like. I was like, oh, this is going to be bad. Like,
they wouldn't have done that because they didn't know where. All they had was that there was lithium and rhodium.
And I forgot we had like that big atmosphere issue, like all the crap in the air. Yeah, that's true too. Yeah. I forgot we kind of have a natural.
So they weren't gonna just bomb you, but they would have come down and tried to threaten you. But a lot of things you could have theoretically tried to deal with that, but this was the easiest way. No one got killed.
Yeah, because I kept on thinking like my game master sense was tingling, and I just imagined like Neville Black in like this swamp jungle going Rambo First Blood on these guys.
Or you could have pretended to roll over and given them the place to land, and like had a bunch of the eels there, so, worked to get a bunch of. There's all kinds of things that could have potentially. I wasn't trying to put you in a no-win situation there.
And I really liked the sandbox we were given, and it is overwhelming because I've done sandbox games by all means, but here it's like you have a freaking colony at your fingertips, and that's a lot.
Yep. True. Well, anyone have anything else? Any questions from I guess no one watching has anything to ask us about this? I think it's a lot of people we've had here before. If not, I guess we will say goodnight. Unless anybody else has anything.
I want to thank you for this opportunity. This is great. John.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
It was great playing with Abraxas Precipice. We've been wanting to do it for a while, and always great playing with you, Ian. It's been awesome.
I'm sure there will be a future. We'll do something together in the future.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. An absolute honor. Thank you, everybody. And thank you, everyone who tuned in also.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, see you guys.